Coming up today on Philadelphia 76ers Now, Matisse Thybulle said what about his tenure in Philadelphia? And are the Golden State Warriors interested in a Joel Embiid trade? They are locked and loaded with a bunch of assets. We'll explore that. Before we get started, though, make sure you subscribe and hit that sub button. Closing in on 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of the love. Let's begin with Matisse Thybulle. Oh, Matisse, you really had to go there. Not taking accountability for your own flaws and weaknesses as a player in the city of brotherly love. He said he was playing out of fear with the 76ers, and now, to a certain degree, he's been freed up with the Portland Trail Blazers following the trade leading up to the NBA trade deadline. Here's what he had to say verbatim. I think there's a lot more opportunity here in Portland, and for me specifically, I feel like there was a lot more fear-based play in Philadelphia as opposed to what I'm doing here in Portland. Any player that's playing out of a place of fear is going to struggle. Like, there's going to just be friction in everything you try to do. But when you play for a place of just discipline and receptiveness to what the game's giving and what you are reading from it, then that allows you to play a little bit better. What's interesting about this from Matisse Thybulle is that he never takes accountability for his own flaws and his weaknesses, and the fact that he never improved as a three-point shooter. Time and time again, the Sixers gave him those opportunities, and that's why I have a problem with what he has to say here. He's not steeping to Ben Simmons levels, but he's not taking accountability for the fact that his three-point percentages were paltry every single season that he was a 76er, and even the free throw percentages seem to plummet and decrease with time. So that's why I have a problem with what he has to say here. It's not like Doc Rivers didn't give him his opportunities. Last year in the NBA playoffs, he was on the floor, and offensively, it was almost as though the Sixers were playing 4-on-5. Teams treated him like Ben Simmons. They saw him at the three-point line. They backed up. They knew that he was not a threat to put the biscuit in the basket, and he got plenty of playing time to improve upon his bad shooting numbers. He just was never able to connect on a consistent basis. Now, I will say this about Matisse Thybulle and Doc Rivers. Doc lost confidence in a young player, and sometimes when a coach loses confidence in a young player, the confidence for that individual player then plummets. It tanks. And it's really difficult for them to come back from that, especially when you're playing in a pressure cooker like Philadelphia, when the fan base is all over you, when you're not playing well. And I think that Thybulle kind of cratered once he realized that the fan base, which loved him as a rookie, loved him at points throughout his tenure because he was a defensive mastermind, started to sour on him when he continued to struggle from beyond the arc. What's funny, though, is that clearly he's been freed up to a certain degree, and clearly he feels as though he's in a better basketball situation, and he's not feeling that pressure from the Trailblazers organization or that fan base. Why? Because on a 10-game sample size, he always struggled with the Sixers to shoot more than the low 30 percentile from downtown. With the Trailblazers, though, pretty nice sample size, 10 games in, heading into Friday's matchup against Philly, he's shooting nearly 41% from beyond the arc. Of course, he continues to be a defensive savant, more than a block per night, nearly 2 steals per night, as that wingspan always deflects passes and forces turnovers, 7.5 points per game. He was averaging less than 3 this past year with the Sixers. So with that, let's pivot to this question. And it is today's poll question. I want you to speak up. Join the conversation down in the comment section. Who is to blame for Thybulle's failures? Is it him, type MT for his initials? Is it the Sixers, type 76? Let us know down below. Now, Matisse Thybulle never had it going on in a Sixers uniform of shooting the basketball. If you take down AG1, you'll have it going on with your health and improving on it. I take AG1 every single day, and it really sets the foundation for the rest of my daily process. I gave it a try because, given my work schedule at Chat Sports, combined with my training regimen as I'm on a mission to run every day for about 300 days as I'm approaching that, I wanted sustained energy. I wanted to stay healthy. I needed to keep my immune system strong so that I can strive toward my professional work life and personal fitness goals. I take AG1 every morning as part of my routine. It sets the table for the rest of my day. It's helped improve my gut health. It's boosted my energy. It supports my immune system and helps me recover since I'm putting such a toll on my body. I simply mix 1 small scoop of AG1 with water. I drink it first thing each morning or before and after my workouts to get some added nutrients, especially after I break a sweat to replace what I've lost. I also love that something that's this good for you and prioritizing your health and wellness costs less than $3 a day. So to my Sixers family out there and all my Philadelphia homies, if a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D, 5 free travel packs with your first purchase as well, $20 off too if you head to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. Link available in the comment section and in the description of this video. Now let's get to these trade rumors, this trade discussion around Joel Embiid, and let me set the foundation here. Some people are in the comment section and they're like, Chase, how do you want Joel Embiid traded? My response to that, do you not watch the show? Do you not listen? Open up your ears. I don't want to trade one of the most legendary Sixers players in the history of this franchise and the second best player I've seen in a Sixers uniform behind Allen Iverson, who I loved as a kid, so much so I wanted cornrows and tattoos. Asked my mom and she said, no, Chase, you can't do that. NBA analysis proposing a trade that would bring and send Joel Embiid to the Bay Area in exchange for a plethora of players. We're talking Jordan Poole, Kevon Looney, Gary Payton II, Jonathan Kuminga, and 4 first-round picks. I don't want to trade Joel Embiid. Let me say that one more time, even though somebody's in the comment section probably saying, Chase, why do you want to trade Joel Embiid? Again, listen closely. But if Embiid does one out, that trade package, it's one of the better trade packages that you can field among all other 29 teams in the NBA. Why is that? Players ready to play right now. You get a good defensive big in Kevon Looney, a guy who's won multiple championships. You get that offensive player in Jordan Poole. You get the next coming of Jaylen Brown, in my opinion, and Jonathan Kuminga. And you get some of the draft capital back that you have lost over the last couple of years in a couple of these trades. Here's what NBA analysis had to say about trading the process. He may have more gravity under the basket than any player in the NBA. When Embiid has the ball down low, you've got to double team him. Can you do so if Steph Curry is on the perimeter? Now, from a pure basketball standpoint, Joel Embiid with Steph Curry, it'd be a lot of fun to watch. You have to imagine that Klay Thompson would be on that squad as well. They would get a lot of open looks around the three-point arc. And for Steph Curry, in a basketball standpoint, as he continues to get a little bit older, maybe he doesn't have to have as taxing of a style on the offensive side of the floor. Instead, with Embiid down low, he can float around that perimeter, and then also once Embiid goes out to that three-point arc, some of the driving lanes and those avenues open up as well. But I don't want to see Embiid with the Golden State Warriors, and I don't think that the Warriors are going to give up all that for Joel Embiid. Plus, they had a big in James Wiseman, the number 2 pick from a couple of years ago. They traded him away because he individually didn't make sense on that roster. Now, for Embiid this year, having once again an MVP campaign. Back-to-back years heading into this one, he's finished runner-up to Nikola Jokic for NBA MVP. And what do you know? This year, it's those two once again duking it out to win NBA MVP. On Thursday's show, I had voiced and explained why I think Embiid is more worthy of the MVP award, but for some reason, there's this national consensus that the Joker is going to be the guy for the 3rd straight year, yet I think Embiid is more impactful to his team. And I think he's obviously the better defensive player. He will win you games by his lonesome a little bit more than the Joker. Embiid is the more physical player who is really a blend of Shaquille O'Neal and Hakeem Olajuwon, in my opinion, who can take over games on both ends, whereas the Joker really sets everybody else up offensively, can do his own and get his money on that end of the floor, but defensively, he's a turnstile out there. So if you want Embiid to be a lifelong Sixer, I mean, look at those numbers, man. This dude has been fabulous this year, and unfortunately for him, injuries have curtailed his greatness to a certain degree from a national perspective, but the real ones know in the city of brotherly love that Embiid is one of one. I'm not sure we're ever going to see another player like him. That's why I want to see him be a lifelong Sixer. I'm going to go ahead and type his jersey number down in the comment section. You do the same, and as you go down there, make sure you subscribe to the channel for year-round Sixers coverage.